A CEO crashed his company. Thousands of workers lost their jobs. Pension funds were wiped out. Suppliers went unpaid. He walked away with $47 million. This is completely legal. It happens every single year, and the system was designed specifically so that it would... Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll never look at a corporate restructuring headline the same way again. My name isn't important. What's important is this. The financial system isn't complicated by accident. It's complicated on purpose, because confused people are profitable people. This channel exists to change that. Today, we're exposing one of the most reliable money-making strategies in the history of business. Not investing, not innovation, not building something people actually want. We're talking about crashing a company and getting paid obscenely well to do it. Here's exactly how it works. It doesn't start with a bankruptcy. It starts with a buyout. A private equity firm, and let's call them what they are, a group of very wealthy people who buy companies using the company's own future earnings as collateral, acquires a retailer. They put in a fraction of the purchase price themselves. The rest is debt, and that debt goes on the company's books. Not theirs, the company's. So on day one, before a single bad decision has been made, the company is already drowning in debt it didn't ask for. This is called a leveraged buyout. It is completely legal, and it is exactly as predatory as it sounds. Private equity firm then installs a new CEO. Let's call him Gerald. Gerald is not a retail expert. Gerald has never run a store. Gerald has, however, run several other companies into the ground with impressive efficiency, which in the world of corporate America apparently makes you extremely hireable. Now here's the part that will make your blood pressure spike. Gerald's compensation package is negotiated before he even starts. It includes a base salary of $12 million per year, a performance bonus, and I want you to remember the word performance because we'll come back to it, stock options, and a golden parachute clause. A golden parachute is a contractual guarantee that if Gerald is fired or the company collapses, he gets paid an enormous sum of money on his way out the door. In other words, Gerald gets paid if things go well. Gerald gets paid if things go catastrophically wrong. The only scenario where Gerald doesn't get paid is the one scenario that never actually happens. Gerald voluntarily walking away. This is not an accident. This is the design. Now let's talk about what Gerald actually does with the company. Year 1. Gerald announces a bold new strategy. He calls it a transformation initiative. It involves cutting costs, closing stores, and most importantly, a massive share buyback program. A share buyback is when a company uses its own cash to purchase its own stock. This reduces the number of shares available, which pushes the stock price up. Great for shareholders. Great for executives whose bonuses are tied to stock price. Not great for the company because that cash could have been used to renovate stores, pay staff, or, radical idea, adapt to the fact that the internet exists. Gerald's company spends $2 billion on share buybacks over 3 years. Gerald's personal stock options increase in value by approximately $60 million during the same period. Meanwhile, the actual business, the stores, the products, the people, is quietly falling apart. Customer satisfaction drops, maintenance is deferred, staff are cut to the bone. The company falls years behind competitors on e-commerce. But the stock price looks great, for now. And here's the key thing nobody tells you. Gerald's bonuses are already vesting, already being paid. The clock is ticking in his favor and nobody else's. Year 4. The illusion cracks. The debt from the original buyout combined with $2 billion drained through buybacks, combined with years of underinvestment, creates what financial analysts call a perfect storm, and what the rest of us call an entirely predictable consequence of the decisions made. Sales collapse. The company can't service its debt. Suppliers stop extending credit. Stores begin closing not by strategy but by desperation. Gerald's response? He hires a team of consultants at $400 an hour to tell him what every store manager already knew. The business model is broken. The consultants produce a 400-page report recommending things like invest in customer experience and improve digital presence. Gerald announces another transformation initiative. 3 months later, the company files for bankruptcy. And here is where it gets truly extraordinary. Pay close attention. This is the part they really don't want you to know. When a company files for bankruptcy, there's a legal order of who gets paid first. Banks go first, suppliers and landlords go next. Employees and pension holders are further down the list. Shareholders get whatever is left, usually nothing. But executives often have something called a Key Employee Retention Plan, a KERP, which is a bankruptcy court-approved bonus paid to senior leadership to keep them in place during restructuring. The logic, apparently, is that the people who steered the ship into the iceberg are the ones best qualified to manage the sinking. Gerald and his team receive $32 million in KERP bonuses while the bankruptcy is ongoing. At the same time, 2,000 employees are laid off without severance. Pension obligations are renegotiated downward. Suppliers receive cents on the dollar. Gerald's total compensation across his entire tenure, including the golden parachute, $47 million. Gerald is currently listed as a senior advisor at a private equity firm, presumably advising on the acquisition of another company. The cycle continues. None of this is unique to Gerald. This is a pattern. It has a name. Some economists call it heads I win, tails you lose compensation design. Share buybacks inflate the stock. Options vest, executives cash out. The company, now stripped of cash and loaded with debt, can't compete. Private equity extracts fees at every stage. And when the bankruptcy comes, it legally sheds the obligations, the pensions, the severance, the supplier debts, while preserving the assets that can be sold. The workers didn't design this system. The suppliers didn't design this system. The customers didn't design this system. But someone did, and they got paid $47 million for it. So what can you actually do with this? Know what to look for. When a company announces cost-cutting measures, ask who's buying back stock. When you read about a CEO who made the hard decisions, check what their compensation package looks like. When a private equity firm acquires a brand you love, start paying attention. You can't fix the system by yourself, but you can stop being the last one to understand how it works. That's what this channel is for. Every week we pull apart a different corner of the financial world. The scams, the schemes, the billion-dollar disasters, the people who design the game and then change the rules halfway through. If that sounds like something you want to know about, subscribe. It's free, which, as you now know, is more than can be said for Gerald's golden parachute. New video dropping next week, and trust me, you're going to want to see it.